So in today's video, we're going to be discussing investing in the current La Liga team of the season.
So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch. For the cheapest premium trading service for just £4, €4, or free with Amazon Prime. You'll get yourself daily trading and investing guides covering both Xbox and PlayStation with an array of different techniques depending on your budget. I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million on multiple titles, and recently making over 10 million in the first month for the last 3 years.
So in the last 2 weeks, investing in the current team of the season has been an amazing investment. We've seen the likes of 30 and 40% rises within 48 to almost 72 hours. As a result, what we're going to be doing in today's videos, we're just going to be briefly explaining the trend, then showing you guys the most used players, and then ending the video off with the investments I recommend making. So for those who are not familiar with the trend and what's basically been happening for the last 2 weeks is basically when the Premier League and the Bundesliga team seasons have gone out of packs, the really demanded cards once going out of packs have had some decent rises. For example, I can go and show you the 3 Premier League players and show you 3 Bundesliga players. Start off with Zinchenko. We can see right there he went out of packs 53k. Once out of packs he moved up to 67k. Then can move to Trippier, 41k before he went out of packs, then moved up to the likes of 50k. We can then finally end off here with Odegaard, who was 68k before going out of packs and then moved up to 78k. We can also go and show you this happening last week with the Bundesliga. We've got Frimpong, for example, who was 208k and rose up to 245k. We can then head to the likes of Lacroix, and we can see that Lacroix went from the likes of 61k and moved up to 77. And then finally Kolo Muani, and we can see he went here from 41k and moved all the way up here to 52k, although I don't know if I showed you that. So we can see that this trend has occurred 2 weeks in a row, which means we're very confident that this trend is going to occur this week. Now, what I can also show you is Wednesday was kind of the cheapest point. We can see Wednesday being the cheapest here for Kolo. We can move it back here to Lacroix, and we can see Wednesday was the cheapest for Lacroix. We can move it back here to Frimpong, and we can see Wednesday was the cheapest for Frimpong. But what players rise the best? Well, what I can show you right here is a lovely little bit of a footbin, which basically shows me how much each player is being used. And if we go down to the Premier League right here, we can see that the most used Premier League team seasons are Bruno Guimaraes, Kane, Zinchenko, Reece James, Saliba, Kieran Trippier, Saka. Well, believe it or not, the players who performed the best out of packs were Zinchenko, Reece James, Bruno Guimaraes did okay, Trippier did okay, and that's about it. So we can see that basically the majority of the top end players were the cards that rose the most. We can also go and do this the exact same here with the Bundesliga. Alphonso Davies, decent rise out of packs. Kimmich, good rise out of packs. Frimpong, good rise out of packs. Sane, good rise out of packs. Kolo Muani, good rise out of packs. Diaby, great rise out of packs. And then Lacroix also had a good rise out of packs. So we can basically see that the more games someone's had play with them, give or take, the better they're going to go and perform out of packs and be an investment. Which means if we want to head over to the La Liga, it should be quite straightforward to who we want to go and buy. Now, one trend I'd say that was more from the Premier League than the Bundesliga is that if someone's over 200k, you kind of avoid them. It's because there's a higher chance that a top end player, I guess, gets replaced, and you know, I guess people who have a lot of coins seem to switch their teams up a lot more than people who don't have many coins. So I would kind of stay away from stuff over 200k. We can see right here that Stegen is one of the most used, then followed by Alex Balde, followed by Modric, Lewandowski, Mirino, Viega, Molina, and then it kind of really drops off there because you go from 45,000 games used to 30,000 games used, and then lower and lower and lower. Now, weirdly enough, it doesn't actually put the moments on here. So what we want to do is we want to kind of remember these, so like 45,000, 47,000, 50,000. But what we now need to do is head to the team of season moments, because for some reason it's not on there. We need to have a little look at them. So we've got 35,000, 30,000, 30,000. So not amazing in all fairness, because Fekir probably ranks in about the 7th or 8th most used team of the season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he'd rank in the 8th most used team of the season. So there's plenty of other players we can go and invest instead of the likes of Fekir. Now, when it comes to investing in the players, I would recommend try and use as much diversity as possible without using players that aren't being used much. And the reason for this is because if we go to the Bundesliga, I believe Frimpong had one of the highest percentage rises, despite not being the absolute top. Same with Kolo Muani and Lacroix. Despite them not being the exact top, they did have better rises. So if you go and put a little bit of coins in each player, what it means is, for some reason if the most used card doesn't rise the most, well, at least you've got one of them, you've got one of another player and a few of another player if they're a little bit cheaper. So now we've shown you everything, let's go through a few of the investments we like. So obviously we're going to start off here with Stegen, and Stegen's quite an interesting one because goalkeepers have been a bit meh. Like, we didn't exactly see a great rise on Cobble apart from the hype of him being SBC fodder, and likewise we didn't see a rise on Ramsdale. But what is nice is they are SBC fodder, so it does give double utility. Also, Stegen is used significantly more than Cobble and Ramsdale were. So we got the likes of Stegen. Now, he is up a little bit since this morning, so ideally I'd want to be picking him up for around about 55k. We see all morning he was viable at 54. We see kind of yesterday he was viable at 54, so I'd say 54 or 55k is what I'd want to get the likes of Stegen for. These cards probably will rise Thursday or Friday, so I don't think I'd be waiting till Thursday. I'd be trying to get snipes, trying to get bids, or worse comes worse, pay a little bit above what I'd recommend. The second player is the likes of Alex Baude, and if we go and look at what Alex Baude went down to yesterday, he comfortably went down to about 127. If we look at where he was going for this morning, he was even sub 120, but a 125 should not be very unachievable with the likes of Alex Baude. Again, just might have to look for bids, snipes. I don't expect them crashing on a Thursday because of Division 5 rewards and marquee matchups, just because that's not what happened last week. So you do want to be trying to pick these cards up on the Wednesday. So the second player is the likes of Alex Baude. They're at 125k. So like I said earlier, Modric and Lewandowski, I think Modric may rise, but I would hold off these players because there is a higher fail, I guess, rate of cards that are this expensive in comparison to the cheap stuff, which almost always rise, and I don't think there's really ever a fail rate. The next person we move on to is going to be the likes of Rhino. If we go look at the trends of him yesterday, we can see he went from 100k down there to 97. Well, if we look at him earlier today, it actually went down to 90. So ideally, we're going to want to pick him up for low 90s. 93 shouldn't be too unachievable with a 95k current. That literally is 2k lower on a bid or 2k lower on a snipe. So the likes of Rhino, picking him up for about 93 would be ideal, or 90 if you really want to be that ambitious. And the last few players I'd recommend picking up is the likes of Viega and the likes of Molina. Now, you can go and pick up a few of the moments. I don't think the moments are anywhere near as good, but like I say, you know, it doesn't really hurt to maybe, let's say you're going to go and put in 15 to 20% in every major team season that I've recommended you, but into the moments of you're only going to go into Galan and you're only going to go into Fakir, maybe you want to go and put like 5% or 3-4%. You know, maybe you got a million, you want to just go and buy 1 or 2. But if you don't have 5, 6, 700k, probably leave the moments. They're kind of just like a secondary investment for the sake of more diversity. Now, when it comes to selling these cards, you want to be selling them on the Sunday evening. If I show you this right here with the likes of LaCroix, we can see he peaked on the Sunday, then went down in price. Yes, he is higher price right now, but I wouldn't say it's worth risking it. Same with Kola Mayudin, Sunday, and then we saw him. He kind of did hold, I'll be honest with you. But here's probably a better example. But if we go look at the Prems, I mean, this probably fits the agenda a little bit more. How they kind of peaked on the Sunday, then went down, and they never really re-hit those prices the Sunday, apart from the following Friday. But, you know, you might as well sell them sooner rather than later if you're going to get the same price for them. So if we look at Trippier right here, Sunday 50k, and then he did go down there to 48k. And then we go and look at Odegaard, and once again Sunday, and then he did proceed to drop. So there were a little bit of rise on a Friday, but you'll get way more money selling them and reinvesting into other players. So that is buy the players today and then go and sell them Sunday evening. On Sunday evening, you'll probably have investments maybe into Serie A special cards, maybe you'll have investments into Serie A gold cards, you might be able to get into some SBC fodder. So if you get out by Sunday, you've got plenty of other investments, which I say we'll have YouTube videos coming on the Saturday and the Sunday for stuff for you guys to invest in. But I believe that is all she wrote. Hopefully it's helped you guys know what players to buy and just giving you guys a little bit of an insight into the trends that me and other traders do cop onto. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.